Okay, 12.3 is a much better section to look at. Solving radical equations. So, what you want to do is you want to get the radical all by itself on one side of the equation. If your radical term winds up equaling a negative number on the other side of the equation, you stop and you say no solution. Because while we know that the square root of 25 is 5 and negative 5, in these types of problems with equations, you throw out the negative answer. You only keep the positive answer. It comes down to graphing and things like that, which we're not going to get into. That comes into Algebra 2. But when you're solving equations, you throw out negative answers. Okay, so let's look at the first example. I want to get this square root all by itself, so I'm going to add 10. And I get the square root of x equals 10. So, to get rid of the radical, I square, because this is square root. So I'm going to square both sides of the equation, like the little 2. That cancels out the square root, and 10 squared is 100. If I had anything else here with the x, I would solve it, but I'm done. All right, what happens to the next one? Let's get the square root by itself. So it's minus 8. And I get square root of 2x equals negative 10. Oh, I got a negative answer. So I stop and I say no solution. Or you can do this thing if you'd like. All right. Now, I've got a lot of stuff happening here, but remember, I want to get everybody away from the square root. So first I'm going to subtract the 2. Always add or subtract first. Don't do that first. Don't try to divide by 3. So I have 3 square root of 4x minus 12 equals 12. Now I want to divide by 3 because 3 goes into 12 nicely. 4x minus 12 equals 4. Now I'm ready to get rid of the square root, so I square both sides. I get 4x minus 12 equals 16, and now I just solve this. So plus 12, I'm going to come over here. 4x equals 28. Divide by 4, and I get 7. Okay. Now, here's where it gets a little fancy on this last guy here. So I'm going to scroll down. Give myself some room to work on this one. All right. Now, this square root is already all by itself. So I'm ready to square both sides. Now, I'm putting this other side in parentheses because I have to square the whole thing, which means I'm doing 2x times 2x, which is 4x squared. This side's the easy side because that just cancels out. But now look what happens. I wound up with an x squared and an x. Well, we know what that means. We've got to make the whole equation equal 0 because we're going to have to factor. Make sure you write it in standard form. Okay, so let's come over here. So now I notice right away that 4 goes into everything, so let's factor out a 4. Make it a little bit easier. And I can actually divide this 4 right out, and he's gone. So x squared minus x minus 2 equals 0. This factors nicely. X, 2 and 1. And if I want a negative 1, I need a negative 2 and a plus 1. Then because of the equal sign, you have to go the extra step. X minus 2 equals 0. So x equals 2. X plus 1 equals 0. X equals negative 1. And remember, we're throwing out our negative answers, so this is our only solution. X equals positive 2. Okay? And there you have it. Here's 12.3.